Welcome, 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 everybody. So years ago, Scott and I had the opportunity to go to a place called Klezmer Camp. And it was the 30th anniversary and the final year of Klez Camp. And we were so sad. It was so wonderful. It was a whole Klezmer meeting of musicians and people who just love Klezmer music and Eastern European Jewish cultural history in the Catskills. So I was so bummed. I was like, what? I love this. I wish I could come every year. Someone said, do you know about Klez Canada? Klez Canada? I'd never heard of Klez Canada. So that next summer, we went to Klez Canada up in the Laurentian Mountains. And that's when I first met these two. They may not remember me from then because they were big superstars there. I took a nigun class with Zach. I did this nigun that was so wonderful. And you taught Aaron like wah wah wah, some kind of singing, some intergenerational singing class where we did fantastic tunes, and it was just so delightful. Then I went to Camp Isabella Friedman for some maybe Sukkot fest, and they were just sitting around harmonizing and singing for hours, and I got in on that. Finally, last year, I was at Camp Havaya visiting Joey Meixler, and this is the Reconstructing Judaism camp. And these two were the scholars, artists in residence. So I sat them down and said, I know you two. And would you ever want to come to KHN? So it has been a dream of mine to bring these two here. I'm just going to give you a little introduction. The two of them, brothers, have been playing music together all their lives, ranging from singing the weekly Friday night Shalom Aleichem to concerts at international music festivals. The Meir brothers have developed a uniquely fraternal music sensibility over lengthy road trips, late-night jam sessions, and countless performances as a duo. Zach has performed with John Zorn, Frank London, Michael Alpert, Joey Weisenberg, and Bobby McFerrin. He plays baritone saxophone internationally with Zion 80, a 10-piece Jewish Afrobeat band, and his folk sextet Night Tree, of which I have CDs, has toured in Europe and has released 2 albums produced by Seamus Egan of Solas. He has been on the faculty at the Brandeis Institute of Music and Art and LaGuardia Arts High School in Manhattan and teaches every summer at Canada Jewish Music Festival. He is the music director of Kahal Brera, Boston's humanistic Jewish congregation, and leads interactive concerts of the music from his 2 albums, Modeh Ani and Zamru, singing with communities around the country. He received a master's degree from the New England Conservatory in Contemporary Improvisation and lives in Boston. Aaron has been playing klezmer and classical music since he was 5 years old. He has performed with his family band at international music festivals and concerts across the country as a vocalist, instrumentalist, and folk dance leader. He is a member of a pirate a cappella crew where he sings sea shanties and Irish work songs. Earlier in his career, he spent 8 years with the Folks Bean Theater Company and the off-Broadway production of Kids and Yiddish. And he was featured in an HBO special that profiles young, gifted musicians. He currently is living his dream in San Francisco. So with that, I am so delighted to welcome the Meir brothers. Woo!
Yeah. there's a guy on the subway platform, and a woman comes up to him, and she tugs him on the elbow and says, "Excuse me, are you Jewish?" And the man says, "No, ma'am, I'm not Jewish." And she says, "Oh, okay." She taps him on the elbow again. "Are you sure you're not Jewish?" And the man says, "Yes, ma'am, I'm definitely sure I'm not Jewish." And she says, "Oh, okay." "Are you really sure you're not Jewish? And the man says, all right, lady, yeah, I'm Jewish. You got me. Why? What do you want? And she says, oh, funny, you don't look Jewish. We're so delighted to be here just for an afternoon, a beautiful afternoon, filled with klezmer music and Yiddish jokes and just brotherly, fraternal love, and we're so excited to share that with you. That song that we just sang, Shiru Lavonai, was a Zach Mayer original. Woo! Only the greatest living composer of our time. But we're so excited to just be here and give you a glimpse into the life that we've lived, the lives that we've lived as musicians and klezmer musicians in particular. And we wanted to start with a story that takes us back maybe 6 or 7 years ago. We were in Klez Camp in the elevators. And this was the 30th anniversary year. And we were in the elevators and we had our instruments. An accordion, Zach had a saxophone, and we were with 2 other guys. One had a trombone, one had another saxophone. And we're playing in the elevator, we would stand there, we would play, and then people would come in and we would ride up with them, and then we would come down and then just go up and down the elevator, just jamming in the elevator space. There's a lot of musicians. Finding good jam space is hard to come by. So as we're doing this, in walks this woman, maybe some of you have heard of her. Her name is Eleanor Risa, and she's a virtuosic Yiddish singer. She actually also just published a book called The Letters Project, which is great. And she is a really phenomenal Yiddish singer. I don't know how old she is, but she probably had at least 40 or 50 years on us. We were all young at the time, and she starts jamming with us. She's kind of shimmying her side, and she starts singing with us as we're playing, and she's totally hip. And then she says, as she exits the floor, she says, "Boys, we sound good together. I'm gonna book us a gig." and we say, "Oh yeah, sure, Eleanor, yeah, you'll book us a gig. Okay, sure." Anyway, Klez Camp ends that year, and we get a call from Eleanor Risa a couple of days later. "Boys, I booked us a gig. We're playing at the Charlotte Yiddish Institute of North Carolina next summer." And we say, "Okay, sure, why not?" And so sure enough, the next summer, we pack our bags and we go to the Charlotte Yiddish Institute of North Carolina. It was a great gig. It was so fun. And we got to spend the whole week with this little campground with a bunch of octogenarians, and they thought we had pinched our cheeks. They thought we were so cute. We were young and handsome at the time. But that actually was the first. After that time in Charlotte, we actually recorded an album, a small EP that's on Spotify. You can check it out. It's called Eleanor Risa and Du Bois. And one of the tunes that is on that album we were about to play for you now, and it's in Yiddish. And maybe did anyone here grow up speaking Yiddish or growing up with Yiddish in the house? Yeah, a couple of maybe the bubbies would sing and it's all copy. And so maybe you'll recognize some of the words, and it goes like this. Let's do it in D, actually. It's a love song. A dubious love song. I'm not even sure if the woman loves the man or if the man loves the woman. But I guess you can be the judge. Herr nur du schein Meidele, Herr nur du fein Meidele, was wirst du tun in a so weiten Weg? Was wirst du tun in a so weiten Weg? And she replies, ich will gehen in die Gassen, ich will schreien, Wäsch zu waschen, hab ich mit dir zusammen sein. Hab ich mit dir zusammen sein. Herr, nur du schein Meidele, Herr, nur du fein Meidele, ab was wirst du schlafen in a so weiten Weg? Ab was wirst du schlafen in a so weiten Weg? Ich bin a junge Frau, ich will schlafen auf a Winterstreu, hab ich mit dir zusammen sein, hab ich mit dir zusammen sein. fein Meidele, hallo du schein Meidele, was wirst du essen in a Saal weiten Welt? Was wirst du essen in a Saal weiten Welt? Brot mit Salz will ich essen, Tate Mame will ich vergessen, zusammen sein, hab ich mit dir 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 zusammen. Pretty girl, hey there, her no do shine Meidele, her no do fine Meidele. Hey girl, hey cutie, hey shine, beautiful girl, hey fine Meidel. What are you gonna do in this wide world? What's best to tun in unser weiten Weg? And she says, I will if you'll get in the gas and I will run into the streets and I will shout, Wäsche zu waschen, I will shout laundry to take in, I will wash your clothes. And he's dissuading her. He says, yeah, well, where are you gonna sleep? If we were to be together, where would you go? Where would we sleep? And she says, I'm still a young girl, I can sleep on a bale of straw. And he says, and what will you eat in this world if we were to be together? And she says, Brot mit Salz will ich essen, bread and salt will I eat. Tate Mame will ich vergessen. My mother and father, I will forget them. Abi mit dir zusammen sein, if only to be with you. Abi mit dir zusammen sein. And I think it's one of the most beautiful romantic love songs there is. And this is the language that, we grew up speaking English in the house, but our mother and our stepfather, Lisa Mayer and Swilly Dresner, they were performers and they learned Yiddish from their parents and they taught a little bit, they bolstered it for themselves. But it was really sweet that they got to impart that into us. And yeah, this is the style of music that we grew up with. And so I'd love to continue sharing more. If that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
City Field for Jewish Heritage Day around Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and we got to play a couple songs for them. And just briefly, because Mom and Surly, our parents, they taught us when we were like very young. Even when we were 5, like we were starting to just play, and she would teach us these melodies. And so we wanted to share one with you. And there's one also that I think you should tell the story of Surly with the whoop.
Okay, yes, this is a funny tale, a very funny tale that really left an impression on us. One day, our stepfather was going to a Klezmer music festival, as our family is wont to do, and he was partnered up in in one of the hotel rooms with a randomly assigned buddy, and he is, both he and the buddy arrive in their hotel room together. And his new friend goes to the bathroom, as you do when you get to your hotel room, right? You go to the bathroom. Goes to the bathroom, and my stepdad, what does he do? He takes out his little tin whistle, as he always carries a little instrument with him. He takes out this little tin whistle, and he starts playing this melody. And when he gets to this certain section, audibly, the guy in the bathroom, when he gets to the B section, goes, whoop! And we were certain that it was because of this amazing moment in the melody. And so we're going to play that melody for you, and we hope that you too will go, whoop! At the right time. And the boy says to his Bubby, what's fornication? I'm sorry, I messed it up. He goes first to his mother. First he goes to his mother. Mom, what's fornication? And the mother said, go ask your father. So the boy goes to the father and says, Dad, what's fornication? Father says, go ask your Bubby. He says, Bubby, what's fornication? And so Bubby says to him, brings him upstairs. She brings him upstairs to the creepy, dusty attic, up the creaky stairs and up the creaky door, and through the door she opens up a giant trunk. The boy is a little afraid, but eventually the Bubby takes out 2 dresses, and she says to the boy, see this dress? This dress is for every day. But this is fornication. That's a good reaction. The type of music that we've been playing is called Klezmer music, which comes from it's a portmanteau of Klezmer, the players of musical instruments, and it's a fascinating history. And Zachary went to the New England Conservatory, and there's a professor of ethnomusicology, Hank Esnetsky, who started the Klezmer Conservatory band in the 1970s, and was kind of responsible for one leg of the Klezmer revival. But he taught us. He kind of once took us under the wing and told me this history, which I'll impart to you now, which is that the Jewish people after the diaspora ostensibly were wandering all over Europe and Turkey, and somewhat as far as India and China, some as far south as Egypt and Morocco, eventually across, of course, to the New World. But before then, many Jews migrated up the Rhineland and started speaking or adopting a Germanic language, which got mixed with Hebrew, which became Yiddish. And then as they were doing it, they also kind of borrowed and stole, with permission maybe, from Turkish and Balkan musicians and Eastern European music traditions, and that kind of conglomerated and migrated up the Rhineland into Poland, Bessarabia, Lithuania, Russia, etc. And so if you were to, there's one song that's called the Romanian Fantasy. None of them have titles, but this is commonly referred to as the Romanian Fantasy. And just we wanted to take you kind of through a history of what this music would have sounded like over the course of these really thousands of years. And so if you were to transplant yourself into maybe the 1600s in Romania, you might be hearing a song like this, probably just on the fiddle, maybe a cymbal, a hammered dulcimer, which is like maybe you know, it's like a little, imagine the strings of a piano, and then I took little mallets and struck them, so it had this long, beautiful, airy sound, and it would sound something like this in A.
it became more and more standard to play this at weddings and bar mitzvahs and Jewish simchas. And there's one that's a famous one, maybe this is the very first song that my mom ever taught me, the first, my mom, we have the same mom. This is the first song that mom ever taught me, at least. I don't know what it was, the first Klezmer tune.
The same for me too.
Yeah, and we call it Freilich #1. And if you were at a bar mitzvah or wedding in the 1800s, it would have sounded like this. Probably instrumentation would have been a clarinet, maybe an accordion, a poik, which is a bass drum, with a cymbal on the top that you'd go boom, boom, and a violin, and it would sound like this. There's so many great tunes. I mean, this is like where, and fast forward, eventually, like 1800s and beyond, as Jews leave Eastern Europe, many pull factors away either into Palestine and then also into Artsot Habrit, America, New World. Then there was also push factors of pogroms and violence in Eastern Europe. Fast forward to the 1970s, actually, where Hank Wisniewski takes, he basically goes into the archives of these old archivists and people who were walking around Eastern Europe with voice recorders, like in the 1920s and 30s, and they would transcribe those songs into sheet music, and they were stored in these archives, and then Hankus would dig these songs up and then give them to his students at the New England Conservatory and play them, and that was the Klezmer Conservatory Band. And so one of the songs that they would, there's like so many songs that sounded like what we just did, like tons, and none of them had names. It's very confusing. But another one, between this happened, between this step, there's also other music that was composed during this time, even in still Eastern Europe. There's a song that is called the Babaver Wedding March, and this is actually the song that Zachary, who got married last year, Mazel Tov! This is the song that he walked down the aisle to with his bride, and it was composed in the Lodz ghetto, and it's a beautiful melody, and we'd love to sing it to you. Maybe you'll recognize it. Maybe we should sing it up.
Yes, sure. Please sing along if you know it.
So then we passed through the 1970s. One thing, we have a friend named Josh Dolgan who's a Yiddishist in his own right. He's very funny. He's a rapper and a Yiddish humorist. And he once told me of a song called the Naya Share, which literally means the new song that was made in the 1950s, and it goes like this. Something, 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 something. Everyone is doing the Naya Share. And he once said, "Oh, I hate the Naya Share. This is the type of assimilationist bull that that the people were running away from, and because they were afraid to look into their heritage, and they wanted to assimilate." And he said, "Oh, the 1950s, it was like corny and canned and bad. But then in the 70s, that's when people started digging into the archives and rescuing these really beautiful songs. The song that we played, literally called the Old Nigun, the Alter Nigun, which was the one that we started with. And that's so rich and beautiful and just not disparaging music that came out of the 1950s. I'm just saying there's a lot of beautiful songs that got kind of rescued in this revival. And at the time of the Klezmer Conservatory Band, there was also the Klezmatics, led by Alicia Spiegels and Frank London. They're amazing musicians. They're still playing, they're still kicking, still making awesome tracks. You can find them on Spotify. And they also took, not only were they traditionalists, but they also took these songs with new arrangements and hot new instrumentation. And they really made some awesome tunes. And that takes us all the way into the contemporary time, where we have even more modern Jewish composers who are still composing their own melodies. For instance, the greatest living composer of our time, Mr. Zach Mayer,
That's my brother.
Who
He's
composed,
my biggest fan.
who composed Shiru Ladonai, the one that we sang earlier, and this one that we're about to play here now.
שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך שחזרת בי נשמתי שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך Oh,
Jewish influences. I mean, Zachary's obviously been steeped in Jewish culture for his whole musical career, but then he'll also take the songs, lyrics from the liturgy, the Modeh Ani morning prayer, and then set these beautiful, beautiful melodies to them. He's so good.
Did I tell you he's my biggest fan?
Oh! And that takes us all the way even to the future, when in fact the first Jewish president is being sworn in. And the first Jewish president is finally being sworn in to the United States of America. And his mom is in the stands in the back. And she's spelling, of course, and she says, she points to the person to the back, and she says, "You see that? That's my boy. His brother's a doctor." I think we've been sitting for a long time. Would you say? I think it's time for the seventh inning fetch. And let's do some dancing if you're down for it. I would say let's stand ourselves up and push the chairs to the side, and let's get some dancing. Obviously, most Klezmer music is meant to be dancing.
So do the best we can here to help you see.
Rabbi.
Yeah.
And then once you're...
Oh, yeah. Did you get my note about where to put the microphone? Because
The problem is
when they talk,
there's no microphone.
the verbal part of the production isn't heard very well on Zoom. You miss a lot. Even
We don't really have a mic. It's just in the computer.
I didn't hear it, but it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Let's start. The title of this next component, the title of this next segment is "How to Be a Torah Superstar."
Let's see. I know her.
Let's do a little quick practice. Let's 5, 6, circle to the left. Circle to the right. Jewish Klezmer folk dancers, there are certain moves that we all should have in our basic repertoire. That's the move. The left, the right, the in. It's great. But there are specialty moves, and there's specialty moves for different songs. So that's this is a normal 4/4 song. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if we're going to add a special rhythm to it, and the rhythm is called the Bulgar, which comes from which country? Yeah, exactly. So exactly. And this rhythm goes like this. I'll connect in a second, but it goes like this. You take 3 steps. steps forward and 3 circles to the right, anti-clockwise. And you go 1, 2, 3, kick, kick. 1, 2, 3, left kick, right kick. 1, 2, 3, left kick, right kick. 1, 2, 3, kick, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick, 1 more kick. 1, 2, 3, kick, 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 kick. 1, 2, 3, ki That's a bogart, but that's a 4/4 rhythm, and sometimes, especially, it's a more somber occasion, we'll have a 3/4 song. It's not a waltz. The waltz meter is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Da na da na 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. That's the emphasis on the 2 and the 3. In a jacques, to clez it up by making it hit it, we can turn the emphasis on the 3 and the 1. So it goes 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. your basic, your zhap, your bulgar, and your zhap. Between those two, you have 90% of songs. There's other rhythms called a Turkisher. It's very uncommon to dance that. But basically, you got it. And so there's one last thing. So that's your basics, you have intermediate, more thorough steps instead of just a basic left and right and in. But then to do advanced stuff, I would love to all do with you, to turn you into a Hora superstar next time you find yourself. Because the most daunting thing in the universe is when you find yourself at the front of a Hora line. And you're expecting something. And then you can, of course, always, you could just, do the snake around the thing, go up in the van, go out of the room and back in, go through the bathroom, go out of the parking lot. You can do whatever you want if you find yourself at the head of a snake. That's also great. But there's one special thing that I want to teach in part, which is called the under-over. And it's gonna start like this. So let's all grab hands in a big circle. 1, 2, circle to the right. Oh, there's a tendency to switch in, but take your space, be grand and majestic. Yes, you have the whole floor, that's right. And so what we're going to do, if you're the leader, as I am in this case, you are going to make sure you have a lot of room, like here, and then you're going to take the person behind you and make a little bridge, and you're going to coax the person to go through, and then you're going to chop it down, and maybe now the two of you make a bridge, and you go, you and the person behind you, you make a bridge, keep going, make a bridge, and then, yes, there we go, make a bridge, fabulous, great. Let's get back into the formation, and then I'll show you how it works. So we're going circle to the right, and we're gonna get in a normal bridge. Work again. Go through like we practiced in rehearsal. And you curve. You want to curve the bridge. While you're in the bridge, you can kind of chosen at random. So it'll be you on the test. What you're going to do is you are going to go both with your partner underneath the first bridge. Woo, but then you're going to go over the second bridge, and you're going to put them to go under. Exactly. And so now you guys go under the bridge. So you basically follow us the entire time. So we go under. Remember, you're kind of doing what the couple next to you just did. Go under and then over. And now, so you just go under, correct. Go over. Go under, and then you go up. There we go, and then you go over. So it's going in and out, under, over, in and out. Go over. Yeah. Go under. Just like a stroke. Keep on with this.
going under.
Keep going up. You're going under. There we go. Beautiful.
brothers and total experts, and I expect that when you're reading your next Torah, you'll do it with aplomb and same awe and composure. And that is the end of our brothers. Bye, brothers. Bye. And we hope to see you all soon next year. That's true. Oh, that's true. Zachary has CDs for sale. Just saying. Just saying.
Hi everybody on Zoom. Judy, I learned from you. We need to figure out a mic system because at the moment we don't have one. So I'm sorry about that, but maybe it'll be on the recording. But I'm glad you heard the music. That's very cool. Everyone's muted. If you want to mute, you can. But it was wonderful to see you. Yeah, so I'm going to get the recording and see what happens.
Good.
But I'm so happy to all be here. And the music came through, huh?
Yes.
The music came through? Yay! I'm going to stop the recording now, but I'm so glad to see you all, wherever you are.
Can you send us the recording? The Zoom recording?
Well, let me take a picture of everyone who's here. Cascade, where's your phone? Can you take a picture of this so I can know? Oh, I have my phone here. I have a picture so that I can send it to people who are on here. There. Hi, Lane. Okay, everyone.
I'll give you my email.
Hi, Tony.
Giving you my email.
Oh, okay, can you put it in the chat? And I'll take a picture of it.